welcome back to my channel. I'm C. Shilpa Surana and this is my third video in the series of Basics of Stock Market. In this series, we are trying to cover some generally used terms in stock market so that you can understand those terms when you hear it or when you read it in financial newspapers or financial TV channels. So having said that, in our previous video, we had already seen few key terms like what is face value, what is share, what is ex-dividend date, cum dividend date, who are promoters of the company, bonus shares, split shares, what are corporate actions. I mean, we have covered wide ambit already, but going forward, we will also look into new terms. So today, first thing that we are going to see is how share price of a company is determined, and secondly we will see various types of markets and what are the subcategories within those markets. All right, now if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe my channel, because on this channel we are going to cover vast range of concepts and terms which are commonly known in share market, and after that of course we will do fundamental and technical analysis also. And apart from that, if you like the content of this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It really encourages me if you do that. Alright. Now, having said that, before we start our today's discussion, I just wanted to give an answer for my previous question, which I had asked in my last video. And that was that who is eligible for bonus shares if the shares are sold between X date and record date. So the answer for that is seller, and the reason being India follows a settlement period of T+2, that is transaction date plus 2 days. So if those 2 days have to be working days, of course. So if you're selling the shares on 19th, so in our example it was 18th was the X date, 19th was the selling date, and 20th was the record date. So if you're selling your shares on 19th of July, actually the buyer is going to receive it on 21st July. Now, if you know the concept of record date is the date on which the company will pull the record of shareholders, that is the register of shareholders, and see whoever is the shareholder on 20th, they will pay bonus shares to them. Now, in this particular case, on 20th, the seller will be the registered shareholder. Reason being, the new shareholder will be updated in the register only on 21st. Okay, so on 20th, since the seller is the shareholder, he is the one who will be receiving the bonus shares. Okay, now even if you think logically, that's correct, because after X date, the shares are treated at X bonus price. I hope you are able to understand this, but if you still are confused or have any question, do let me know in the comment section below and I'll help you out again. So now coming to our today's discussion, and the first thing that I wanted to discuss is how the share price of a company is determined. You guys might have constantly seen fluctuation in share prices, like it's either increasing or decreasing, going up, down with few paise or hundreds of rupees, and then coming down and then going up. So have you ever wondered that how is this happening? How is it determined that what will be the price the trade will happen? So the answer for that is actually people like you and me are determining it. So you and me means the buyers and the sellers. I'm confused how we determine the selling prices or the transacting prices. So the answer for that is, even the share prices funda here works on the basic principle of economics. So the prices are determined at the intersection of the demand and supply curve. Now you might be thinking कि पहले share market नहीं समझ में आ रहा था, अब economics और घुसा दो, intersection this that. So let me make it simple for you. The prices are determined at a place where the demand is equal to supply. So at whatever price these two meet, it becomes the trading price for that particular second or for that particular time. All right. So same thing you can see in day-to-day life also. Like if you take examples of onions and tomatoes, you will see that during certain time of the year, the prices of onions increase drastically. And that is because the supply is less, because the suppliers are actually hoarding onions. Okay. So when the supply is less and the demand is more or even same like it was earlier, the supply being less, the prices actually increase because the suppliers are in commanding position. So when the suppliers are in commanding position, the prices pump up. Okay. And you will see that during certain time of the year, the prices of tomatoes fall. Like you will get it as cheap as like 4 rupees kg and 6 rupees kg. And that is because the demand is less, or it is like whatever was there earlier, but the supply increases. So there are a lot of suppliers and the demand is less or same. So being excessive supply, the prices actually fall down, because then the buyers will try to command and they will try to bargain and bring the price down, because they are very few and these are so many, and they will try to sell to these buyers, right? So they will try to agree to the terms of buyers. So buyers will try to bring down the prices as much as possible, and hence the prices will decrease. Now similar thing happens in the stock market also. When there are a lot of sellers coming in, you will actually see at that point of time price dropping, even by few paise or few rupees only, but it will start dropping. And when the lot of buyers come into market, actually you will see prices hiking, like maybe with a few cents or few rupees or few paise, whatever. So you will see actually at that point of time the prices are rising because there are a lot of buyers and less sellers. So these less sellers will try to command that, okay, I want to sell, but I will sell at more price only. So they will command a higher price, and hence the price will start shooting up higher. So this is how actually the demand and supply helps in determining the actual price at which the stock is traded on stock market. So I hope it's clear to you that how actually the prices are determined basis the demand and supply forces. Now, important thing to know here is that what causes an increase in demand or what causes an decrease in demand. I will let you know few in this video, but remaining you have to tell me in the comment section below what do you feel can increase the demand or decrease the demand. So now one of the reasons why the demand can increase is when the investors project good growth prospect for that particular company or good growth prospect for that particular industry. Hence they would try to associate to that industry or that company, so the demand will increase and so will the price. So positive sentiment towards the industry or towards the company, good news about the company in market for whatever reason, so even that can lead to increase in demand. And similarly the falling demand can be due to falling revenue of that company or negative news of that company. So all this can create negative sentiments. So even if that industry is a sunset industry, like a dooming industry kind of thing, so even those can lead to fall in prices or fall in demand. And you can say that during this fall in demand there is increase in supply also. Why? Because the people who are already associated with that company or industry will try to sell their share. So now I have quoted few for you, alright. Having said that, moving to the next part of the video where we will be discussing about various types of market. So here first of all understand one thing, we are trying to talk about financial market. Financial market means it's a market where you try to buy and sell, that is transact in financial instruments. Now financial instrument can be anything, it can be equity, bond, derivatives, futures, options, like whatever, okay, like treasury bills. So now this financial market itself is divided into two parts. One is capital market and the another one is money market. Now capital market is the place where you transact in various securities like equities and derivatives, etc. Okay, and money market is the place where you deal in treasury bills, commercial deposit certificates, etc. Alright, now in our series we will be actually focusing on capital markets only, and within capital markets also we will be focusing particularly on shares. Okay, now within capital markets there are two types. One is primary market and one is secondary market. Okay, now the two types which are there is primary market and secondary market, right? So let's try to understand this one with one example. Okay, now you are aware of Bollywood, right? In Bollywood, if any new star is going to come in any particular movie, the movie actually shows that introducing so and so actor, right? And when an already established actor works in any particular movie, then it shows that starring so and so actor. So that introducing category, the first category where the newcomer comes, that is actually primary market where there are newcomers, and the category where the established people only come, that is actually the secondary market. So let me try to explain you a little more on this. So primary market is what? Basically, let's take one example. Suppose there is one small business, let's say a lemonade business, and there were two partners in that. Okay, now those two persons actually want to expand their business, and for that they wanted capital. They have reached out to their family, friends, and whatever they could get it, they have already got it. Now still they need more money to expand their business or for their business growth. Now for this thing they want to approach to larger group of audience, like people like you and me, all over India. They want to appeal for money and they want to get money for expanding their business. So now how this company will reach out to people like you and me, or I can say public at large. Okay, So for that, they need to do an IPO. So I just wanted to give you a quick brief about what an IPO is. I just don't want to go more into details because I will be covering it in my separate videos. But I just want to give a quick background of what an IPO is. It is, as the name suggests, initial public offering. So here, a company offers to general public at large for the first time its share for subscription. So Zomato came with an IPO, right? For the first time it opened up to the public, it raised its share to the public to be subscribed by the public, and that is known as IPO. So initial public offer. For the first time when it is happening, it's known as IPO. If in future again they come up with more shares to be available for public purchase, it will be known as FPO. Okay, that's follow on public offer. Okay, so initial public offer happens only once in the lifetime of a company, and it happens in primary market. Okay, now these shares should not be listed in any other stock exchange before. For the first time, very first time, company opens up with its shares to be subscribed by general public at large. All right, so in layman's term, that's IPO, and it is done in primary market. There are two parties in primary market. First party is the issuer company, so the company that comes with an IPO, like Zomato had come up with an IPO. Okay, and the second party is the investor. So investor directly applies in the IPO, and the issuing company issues the shares. Okay, so these are the two parties in primary market. So one more thing about primary market is it is also known as new issue market. So always a fresh issue or the fresh shares are coming into market through primary market route. Okay, now you have purchased the share from the company. Okay, now after some time, suppose you want to sell it because maybe you need funds, for example, let's say. Okay, so what will you do? Will you go back to the company that, okay, take your shares back, give me the money that I gave you? Will the company be giving it? The answer is of course no, because the company would have used it in their growth. So if you want to sell your shares at a later point of time, you actually have to go in secondary market. So one example quickly I want to share in this regard only. Now suppose you want to buy a brand new car. Where you will go? You will go to the car's showroom, okay, and you will buy that particular car. It is like going to primary market. Okay, in share market you go to primary market when you want to buy fresh issue. And if you want to buy a second-hand car, then you go to cardekho.com or you go to OLX, or there will be some local vendors who will be dealing in second-hand cars, and from there only you will transact. You will not go to the manufacturing company and tell them that, okay, give me a second-hand car, I need a second-hand car. No, right? So you will go to the person who is already having it and you will try to transact with them. So same is the analogy that you can use for secondary market, wherein in secondary market you go to a person who's already having the share and you will say that, okay, I want to buy this share, or if you are already having it, you will say, okay, take this share, I don't want it, and the person who is interested in buying it will buy it. Okay, so I think this car examples fit very well in primary market and secondary market, wherein you want to buy new or whether you want to buy it second hand, or which is already issued. There is no second hand share as such. It's already issued shares or fresh shares. Okay, now having understood what a primary market is and what a secondary market is, let's try to get a little bit more detailed view of what a secondary market is. Okay, now within secondary market also there are various components. Now first thing is, what comes under secondary market is stock exchanges. Okay, another one thing is OTC, that is over the counter. I will talk about over the counter a little later, but let's first talk about stock exchanges which are coming under secondary market. Now there are various stock exchanges, but the most famous two stock exchanges are Bombay Stock Exchange and National Stock Exchange, that is BSE and NSE. Okay, now having said that, there are other regional stock exchanges also, like Bangalore Stock Exchange or Calcutta Stock Exchange, but the number of companies that are listed in this stock exchange are very nominal when you see phenomenal amount listed in BSE or NSE. So BSE is having close to 5,000 plus companies listed on itself, and NSE is having around 2,000 companies which are listed on NSE. Okay, so let's talk about BSE and NSE in little more detail now. BSE and NSE, those are popularly known as stock markets. You would have heard them like that. Okay, now what does this stock market have? So when you want to buy or sell any particular vegetable, for example, you go to vegetable market, right? Similarly, if you want to buy and sell shares, where will you go? You will go to stock exchanges. Okay, so that is stock market, that is BSE or NSE. I mean, you can go to other regional stock exchanges also, but like I told you, there are very few scripts which are listed there and very few buyers and sellers which are there. So I'm talking about BSE and NSE particularly right now. Okay, so what is BSE or NSE? It is like mandi where you will be able to buy and sell stocks. Okay, so giving you a little brief about BSE first. So BSE was incorporated somewhere in 1975 and it was headquartered in Mumbai, which was earlier known as Bombay, and hence its name was Bombay Stock Exchange. Okay, so it is the oldest stock exchange in India and one of the oldest stock exchange in Asia actually. Okay, so having said that, there are 5,000 plus companies which are listed on Bombay Stock Exchange. Now coming to NSE, it was incorporated somewhere in 1992 and it was incorporated to break the monopoly which was there of BSE. Also, it was one of the first electronic stock exchange, I can say. So earlier, as you know, in BSE, you would have seen in Scam 1992, there was floor trading also which was done. You would have seen in that Scam 1992, they had shown that there was a floor and people were shouting with some signals like where they want to buy or sell shares. So in NSE, it was actually electronic from day one. So those floor trading concept was never there in NSE. Okay. Now NSE was incorporated in 1992, like I said. It was also headquartered in Mumbai. Okay, so people might think NSE means National Stock Exchange, so maybe Delhi or something, but no, it is also headquartered in Mumbai. So both the stock exchanges are there in Mumbai. And like I said, NSE have around 2,000 companies which are listed. Okay, so now we have seen one part of the secondary market, which was stock exchange. Let's talk about the second part, which is OTC, that is over the counter market. So this market is highly unregulated market and it is in decentralized form. So few parties come together and they deal among themselves, like some people agree to buy and some people agree to sell, like that. Okay, there is high counterparty risk involved in this because there are chances that the person will buy the share but not pay the money, or vice versa can also happen. Okay, so this is a highly unregulated market and you can't do anything about it because SEBI is also not involved. So people usually tend to avoid this kind of market. So small investors like you and me usually are found in stock exchanges, not in the OTC category. Okay, so I hope the concepts that I've explained to you today are clear. So first we spoke about how share price of a company is determined through demand and supply forces, and then we spoke about various types of market, like within financial market there is capital market and money market, and within capital market there was primary market, secondary market. We spoke about BSE, NSE, over the counter. So I hope everything is clear. If you still have any doubt, do let me know in the comment section below and I'm happy to explain those things again. Okay, so if you like my today's video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe my channel if you're new to this channel, and don't forget to hit the bell icon so that you can get constant notifications when I upload a new video. I hope you enjoyed today's content. Thank you for watching it. I'll see you in my next video. Till then, stay home, stay safe. Bye.